Hello and welcome to So It's a Show, a podcast where we attempt to keep up with Lorelai and Rory's pop culture references on Gilmore Girls. I'm Kyla.
And I'm Taylor.
You sound so sunny and sweet.
And would you just say that I have a cheerful disposition?
As well as a sugary attitude.
Oh, thank you
In
so
fact,
much.
I do believe you're making me diabetic.
Oh, but for good cause. Good cause.
Yes. Pleasant.
Yes. Let's go bake some casseroles.
That sounds lovely. Oh, and Taylor, how about some window washing?
Let's do it.
Because today we are going meta. I love using that word.
Yes, we are going super meta today. You might have noticed the title of our episode. It's the same as the whole show.
So it is a show. We're going to answer that finally. The answer
So it's
to
a
that
show.
question.
We've been asking, so it's a movie, so it's a song. Have we done so it's a
spice?
Song? So it's a spice. So it's a person. And we have done so it's a show, but really this is, besides Gilmore Girls, the quintessential show of our show title.
The show.
The show. The Donna Reed Show.
What up?
Here we go.
Donna Reed.
Whatever happened to those dim days beyond recall when a man made decisions?
I just say that wives are becoming too powerful.
Control the PTA, they own 70% of the nation's wealth, they dictate where we live, how we live.
How about the suit?
Today, the PTA, tomorrow, the world.
Because of my celebrated sweetness, I have been used, victimized, and exploited by two dimpled darlings and a husband who would rather see a film on kidney stones than a Pulitzer Prize play.
Well, things are different now. The modern woman will no longer be chained to the stove.
Every housewife has a personality. We're not part of a herd. We're not just housewives.
You know, when we started this podcast, I did not even think about the fact that we would be doing our own reference. And
I didn't either.
You see, and you'd think that we would have realized that, but I just didn't even think about it.
We didn't
even watch Donna Reed when we made our episode title.
We didn't think that far ahead.
No.
So, but then we were looking ahead at episode 15, which, what up, episode 15. And then we realized, oh, hey, we gotta do the Donna Reed Show. I mean, is there really any other choice?
No, absolutely not.
Not for us,
We
anyway.
didn't consider any other options.
No. But also, because it's a slightly different kind of pop culture reference in that it's very integral to our show and very integral to this episode of Gilmore Girls that we're talking about, we're going to do a slightly different format for you today.
A little bit.
We're going to be tracking a conflict. We're going to be digging into some Donna Reed. What else are we doing?
Digging that Donna. We are going... Yeah, I don't know. You covered it.
Okay, there we go. We're digging
That's how it's going down.
We're digging and tracking. We're
Tracking
regular
and digging.
Katniss Everdeens.
Woo! Reference.
Yeah. Who is pretty much the polar opposite of Donna Stone, a.k.a. the character of that Donna Reed plays in the Donna Reed Show.
I would say that's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Although they both always have the same hairstyle.
Yes. That's...
Yeah, other than that.
Yep.
That's how they're similar.
Yeah. So, you want to take it away?
I'll take it away, Taylor.
Do it.
So this episode, which we are going to go much more in-depth in throughout the episode. So it starts with movie night, per usual in the Gilmore Girl household. But this time they're watching a TV show with Dean, who brings pizza and a salad, which they do not understand.
Yes.
Salad.
Yeah, it's a quaint dish sometimes used to precede large quantities of pizza. It's for me.
Clearly.
So Rory and Lorelai have a somewhat negative opinion of Donna Reed and how the mother is portrayed in the show. And Dean thinks it's nice, a woman cooking dinner for a family. So Rory and Dean, that turns into a little argument for them. In the meantime, Lorelai convinces Luke to spruce up the diner in agreement with Taylor, which he hates that he is doing something that Taylor wants. And
Kirk bet money on it.
Kirk bet money. Oh, yeah, Kirk bet money that they wouldn't. And they pick out paint colors. They have a little moment. Mm-hmm. And then, alas, Rory's school project, a bird, gets loose. Lorelai calls Luke, help, come over here. Oh, I need you, which, well, we'll get more into that. Helps her find the bird. And while Rory is over at Babette's, hosting Dean as Donna Reed. And then Luke and Dean take out the trash together and have a little, this is awkward moment.
Mm-hmm.
How'd I do?
I think you did pretty great. I would say my only other favorite moment is after Luke and Dean see each other outside, Rory and Lorelai come outside and Lorelai starts making fun of Rory for her Donna Reed outfit.
She was like, oh, I didn't even see the shoes.
Well, okay, you're 16. You have a whole house to yourself for the evening. I expect you're going to have your boyfriend over. But what is with the apron?
It's a long story.
Did it involve a sharp blow to the head?
I gotta go check on Apricot.
Oh my god, I just saw the pearls.
I'm going in now.
Yeah, you know what, I'm going inside too. Because I have to write down all the ways I'm going to torture you about that outfit.
Good night.
Could I just get a picture though? Because visual aids would really help. Oh, the shoes. I'm dying. Oh.
And, part of the confusion around Lorelai and Luke's plot is when she asks him over to help find the chick, he says, oh, you really have a chick loose in the house. And Lorelai is like, why else would I have said that if I didn't really have a chick loose in the house? And Suki suggests maybe he thought he would, Netflix and chill? Same kind of thing. Come over, help me find a chick, and then we'll chill. And Lorelai insists that's not at all what she was trying to do. And I don't think she was.
Yeah, but I mean, was it really necessary to call Luke in a panic to help her find the chick?
Probably not.
So it was in the back of her mind. Mm-hmm. Or her heart. Mm-hmm. Or her letter regions. Or nether regions.
I'm gonna go with her heart.
Yeah? Okay. That just reminds me of the quote, Lorelai was really happy and Rory said, did you do something slutty? I'm not that happy. Although she doesn't really do slutty things.
Not really.
So that was maybe just kind of like an early Gilmore Girls. Hey, maybe Lorelai's going to be a little promiscuous. And then
also, it's a good comeback. It works.
Yes.
Okay, there she is.
Jeez, what was this?
Stella.
You really do have a chick loose in here.
Yeah, I told you I had a chick loose in here. There she goes by the kitchen.
Now that we've given a little summary of the episode, let's listen to our first conversation about Donna Reed in the episode.
So, who's Donna Reed?
What? You don't know who Donna Reed is? The quintessential 50s mom with the perfect 50s family?
Never without a smile and high heels?
Hair that if you hit it with a hammer would crack?
So, it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
The Donna Reed Show was on TV from 1958 to 1966, and it went for a whopping 276 episodes, which is, by any era of television history, that is a really good run.
I wonder what TV show has the most episodes.
Scripted, probably The Simpsons.
Oh, right.
They're in, season 30-something now.
Yeah, that's insane.
Now, unscripted, I don't know. That's different, but...
Or just besides The Simpsons.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a great question. I do not know the answer off the top of my head. But if you know, tweet at So It's a Show and tell us. Or email soitsashow@gmail.com.
Throwing that in early.
Yeah, doing our plugs a little early. So, this was 276 episodes, and I'm a little unsure the actual number of seasons. Hulu lists it under 5. IMDb has it under 8.
Yeah, I saw 8 seasons.
Yeah. Either way, a lot of episodes. Donna Reed plays Donna Stone, and she was nominated for 4 Best Actress Emmys, and she won a Golden Globe for Best Female TV Star in this role.
Nice.
Yeah, way to go, Donna Reed. And here is the quick TV guide summary. A beloved long-running sitcom about a harried suburban housewife, her pediatrician husband, and their children. The show was chaste and wholesome to a fault, but, like other squeaky clean contemporaries, such as Leave It to Beaver and The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, it was undeniably appealing. It also made teen idols and brief singing stars of Paul Peterson and Shelley Fabares? They played the children,
Fabares.
Jeff and Mary.
Which, those names, I mean...
So
Jeff
typical.
And Mary. Oh. Everyone was named Mary back in the day. My Nana is Mary Lou. They're all some form of Mary.
That's very cute. Mary Lou.
Isn't that cute, though?
That's a cute grandma name.
Thanks. Okay, so we got a little bit of a peek at what the episode might be, although we mostly got Rory and Lorelai's thoughts on it. We mostly got their dialogue. But what did you think the show is going to be like based on the episode, the Gilmore Girls episode?
I mean, I honestly thought my reaction would probably be about the same as Rory and Lorelai's. For the life of me, I tried to find that episode that they were watching.
Me too.
And I could never, every time I tried to type in the description, I just came up with articles about the Gilmore Girls' response to the Donna Reed Show. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find that one. But yeah, I kind of thought, well, I might have the same exact reaction as they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought that I would feel the same way, that it would be just over the top, woman does everything, and guy comes home and wants dinner. But then actually watching the show, I didn't feel that feeling of just total oppression on the woman and how dare he say this and that. I got a little bit of that, but not as much as I thought, and that was mostly because Donna was quick-witted. Mm-hmm. She was not one to be walked over. She was really funny, and I enjoyed her character. And then she and her husband had a nice relationship. Like, they seemed to be somewhat of a team. And now, I wouldn't say a team. I would say they liked each other. Like, they thought each other were funny, and there's an appreciation there that I enjoyed. But it wasn't a show that I would want to just sit down and watch, because it was just kind of like the same thing a lot of times. And actually, you said that the word wholesome, that it was called wholesome. And in one of the episodes I watched, season 5, The New Look, Mary, the daughter, was called wholesome by a boy she was on a date with. Which, by the way, it seems like these kids go on dates, but they don't have boyfriends or girlfriends. It's just like, they do sometimes, but it's mostly just they go on a date. Like, go to a dance.
That
I feel
might...
like we don't do that anymore.
That might just be a time period thing.
Yeah, because it seems like, I mean, when I was in high school, you just had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You didn't date.
Yeah. And I don't know if one's better than the other, but I agree. I think the culture has shifted. Yeah.
But her boy at the time says, Mary, you're not like the other girls. You're wholesome. And he was like an apple pie. And she was just like, what? Wholesome? And goes into the house, runs into the house. She's so upset because she wants to be interesting. So she just thinks that she's, as my mom would say, milquetoast. Just boring, bland, blah, wholesome. So it goes on to, then Donna goes in and talks to her, and she was so funny because she didn't tell her, no, just be yourself, you don't need to change. She was like, well, what do you want to be? Like, what how do you want to change? What do you want to do? And kind of let her realize in the end that she was good just the way she was. So she imagined herself being this mysterious woman, and then she walks up and all the boys call her all these different great adjectives that I don't remember. In the end, she finds out that boy, he says, no, but Mary, I also think that you are fun and smart and all these other words that she likes. So the show is wholesome. She's wholesome. Everything's wholesome.
Wholesome to a fault, as TV Guide would say.
Yep.
I've known other girls, but you're...
Yes?
You're wholesome. That's what you are. Wholesome. Good night.
Wholesome.
What about you? Did you change your mind on it?
So I had an arc. I had a journey through my experience of Donna Reed. So what happens when you forget to cancel your free trial for Hulu and you end up paying for your first month? Ooh. You try and get your money's worth out of it. So I watched 12 episodes of the Donna Reed Show. And well, I kind of, after the first few episodes I watched, I kind of thought Lorelai and Rory were kind of hard on this show. Like, it's definitely simple. It's not super complex. It is definitely not culture-shattering anything. But it was very competent, well-written enough for a 50s sitcom. It kind of reminded me of Full House, which is a show that I sometimes called my favorite snack food with trans fat in it. Like, I know this is not great for me, but I will watch it if it's on Nick at Night. So, like, I already know I'm gonna watch the next season of Fuller House when it comes on Netflix, even though it's not a great show. Like, I don't recommend that show, but I will watch it. So, it's something I could enjoy and just go like, oh, this is, like, comfort food. And there were certain things that surprised me a little bit, like there's an episode called Just a Housewife, and long story short, Donna gets interviewed on this local radio show, and she kind of says something like, do you ever notice how women apologize for being quote-unquote just a housewife? And she's like, we're not just housewives, like, we do a lot to take care of our family, we, like, sort out problems, we're responsible for a lot, and so I thought that was really an interesting commentary on what a lot of women were doing at the time.
Do you think that was somewhat a defense of the show?
Maybe. That was in season 2, so, but I feel like, I don't know if anything Donna was doing was, like, today, I feel like maybe that would be a defense, but at the time, I don't feel like they would need to defend anything. But obviously, I'm not a contemporary, so I'd love... I mean, there are more perspectives that could be brought there. In another episode in season 2 called Mary's Crusade, she's trying to get her friend a date to the dance, and she keeps complaining that her friend is really intelligent and kind and thoughtful, but the boys aren't interested in her because she's not as pretty as... Gosh, what was her name? Some other girl who kept saying, oh, that's just a divine sweater. And, oh, I have a divine secret to tell you. And so, there was definitely...
I'm gonna divinely punch you in the face.
Yeah. So, there was some appreciation for women's intelligence and not just their appearance. So, there were certain things in there that I was like, oh, this is really... Like, this isn't as bad. But then, the more I kept watching this show... One, the show, you said, it is very repetitive. And there are not subplots. Like, you know how most sitcoms have, like, an A plot, a B plot, a C plot? It pretty much has an A plot, and that's it. So you don't really, like, have a break from the story if you're not as interested in it. And so this last episode I watched, or one of the last episodes I watched, was in season 517, A Woman's Place, and... which is a telling title, and Donna gets asked to run for town council, and if she won, she would be the first woman on the Hilldale Town Council. And her family at first is really supportive. Her kids are like, yeah, Mom, that'd be awesome. And Mary says something like, you're doing this for all the women of America. And her husband, Alex, says, you know, you do it if you want to. We'll support you. We can, you know, the kids are almost grown up and we can handle ourselves around here. So at first I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. So then one day of her being at town meetings, the house is chaos and they give up. And Alex has a nightmare that she ends up going all the way to becoming the first female president. And he keeps getting called the first lady, and he's doing all the chores at the White House. And he's giving a tour of the White House like Jackie Kennedy did. And that all the men of America started parting their hair like him, and he can never get Donna to just sew on his button on his jacket.
Oh my god.
And he yells at her when he wakes up and he's like, we need you more than America needs you. And she's like, well, I was only gonna do this because I thought you guys wanted me to do this. And I kid you not, he says, well, good, you can just spend your time being a wife. Work on being a wife. And I was like, oh boy, this is... I mean, if she doesn't want to go for town council, great, don't do it. Like, if you don't want it, don't do it. But, I cringed a little. I think my face, jaw actually dropped as I was watching it, like, oh, times have changed. Thank goodness.
Alex, I just don't understand.
Well, if you spend a little more time around the house, you know perfectly well what I'm talking about.
Alex, I cannot run for office and spend time around the house at the same time. And furthermore, it was you and the kids who pushed me into this.
Oh, we didn't push you into it. I told you it was a decision you had to make for yourself.
Mother, we can take care of ourselves. It'll give you something to do with your time a little later on. And Mother, the country needs you, remember?
Well, we need you more than the country does.
Say that again.
Say what again?
That you need me?
I thought you knew that.
But you and the kids were so anxious for me to take on this job.
How important is this campaign to you?
Well, I only took it on because I thought you and the kids wanted me to.
We only wanted you to because we thought you wanted to.
I only wanted to because I thought you wanted me to want to.
Nothing else. You've certainly learned to talk like a politician.
Well, I feel like if I would have watched that episode and I would have watched it first, I would have had a much different feeling as I watched other episodes. Because that's cringing.
Well, that was the worst one of all the ones I watched, for sure. There were other things throughout where, like, when Alex is talking to his doctor friends, they say something like, well, you can't control your wife, so da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, So, anyway.
Yes, times they have changed.
I thought you go to work at 5 o'clock.
No, 4 on Thursdays. For some reason, Thursdays are always really busy. Lots of oppressed housewives shopping for their husband's dinner.
Wow.
What?
That was a little pointed.
What are you talking about?
Well, that crack about the housewives shopping for their husband's dinner.
Oh, come on, it was a joke.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty weird joke to hear coming out of your mouth.
You were so sensitive about the whole Donna Reed thing.
I'm not sensitive about it. I just find it ridiculous.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, so she cooked a lot.
A lot? She made homemade donuts, chocolate cake, a lamb chop, mashed potato dinner, and enough stew to feed Cambodia all in one episode.
So what?
You really like that concept, don't you?
No, well, yeah, sort of.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's a little over the top, but the general idea of a wife cooking dinner for her husband and family, that's nice. Why is that not nice?
It's not just that. It's the having to have the dinner on the table as soon as the husband gets home and having to look perfect to do housework and the whole concept that her one point in life is to serve somebody else.
Fine, yes, but maybe there are 2 points of view here.
I don't think so.
Well, you just feel that way because your mother feels that way.
Oh, what, so I have no opinions of my own?
I didn't mean that.
Well, if I have no opinions of my own, then I guess I'd be just the kind of girl you like.
Oof. That is low.
Yeah. So you were talking a little bit already about some of the gender dynamics you were noticing in the show. What else? What were your other impressions? Because you said that was the worst episode you watched. So where'd the other ones fall?
I would say in some of the earlier episodes, actually, it seemed like there was something just under the surface, almost. It felt like there were comments about, like Mary says one time, how come it is whenever you try to talk about something serious with a man, he just kind of dismisses you? Or when Alex and Donna have a disagreement in an episode, and they're trying to keep it private from the kids because their kids have been complaining about how some of their friends' parents complain and argue in front of them, and they don't like that. They are trying to resolve it, but then I think ultimately in that episode, they decide that it's okay that they don't agree on everything.
That's good.
Yeah. There's another episode where they have a classic 50s dinner party and they invite some other couples over. And Donna doesn't like being called sweet because it seems like the other ladies are calling her a goody-goody. And the episode is called The Ideal Wife. And they keep saying, oh, you're so sweet because you'll stay up and take care of your husband even when he has late-night doctor calls and these kind of things. And she's like, well, I don't want to just be a stereotype. So there were certain things that I was like, oh, this is more thoughtful. And I felt like there was some sort of actual character development and trying to convey that she was a deeper person. But then whenever there was something like she went out of town or she's running for office for one day, the house would just fall apart. Like her husband, I don't think this is flattering to him. He's completely incapable. Kind of like we were talking about with Everybody Loves Raymond in our last episode. Like, completely incapable of doing anything for himself without her. Or there's another episode where one of her old friends comes to visit and she's a career woman. The name of the episode is The Career Woman. And she comes back to visit Donna and she wants to marry this guy, but ultimately, the way they talk about it is she will give up her career. Like, she knows, they're trying to convince her, like, she's like, well, I know that to be a wife, I need to give up a lot of things, and I just don't know if I'm cut out for the family life. And it's fine if you want to give up your career when you get married. That's totally fine. But it just was concerning to me that it was a given that those things were mutually exclusive.
Right.
So it was a mixed bag, to be honest.
And, you know, we saw that in House of Horrors at the end, at the very strange ending, where the woman says, well, maybe I don't want to be an art critic anymore, which means that she wants to get married because when you get married, you can't have a career.
Well, and I did want to ask you this, too, because maybe this is coloring our perception some. You were married, but you were not a mother. So, unless you're not telling me something.
I've got them hidden in the closet.
Was your mother a working mom when you were growing up? Or a stay-at-home mom? Or a combo?
She was a stay-at-home mom until... would have been grade school, because I remember her picking me up from preschool. And she might have been working by the time I went to kindergarten.
Okay.
Oof, I feel like she's going to want me to remember this. It was sometime like early grade school that she started working, and she's been working ever since. So what about your mom?
So my mom was a teacher before I was born, and then she decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And then when I was in college and my youngest sister was in middle school, she decided to go back to part-time teaching. So she's done a little bit of both, and she still part-time teaches during the school year.
Do you think that's affecting how you're looking at it? Because your mom was, most of your life has been a stay-at-home mom.
Well, I I will say I appreciated the episode where she was saying, hey, I'm not just a housewife. I do a lot for my family, and what I do matters. Because I do think, I actually just heard one of my coworkers say this the other day. He said, well, my wife is a stay-at-home mom, but our youngest kid is in 2nd grade, so I don't even know what she does all day. And we this was in a more social setting at work, and so we all were like, how well did that go over with her? And he said, not well. So, and he's kind of a sarcastic guy, so I sort of don't know how serious he's being, but it sort of bothers me when people say, like, what do you do all day? Because there is a lot of value that being a stay-at-home mom has, and just because you're not working doesn't mean you're not doing anything, and it is super valuable, and that's an awesome, great thing that you get to spend more time with your family that way. So it's awesome being a stay-at-home mom. That said, that's not an option for many families, and not what many families, even if it is an option, it's not what they want. So, totally fine.
Well, so how did that, having your mom home, how did that affect, like, how your household ran? Like, how did your house function with your mom being home? Like, did she have everything done and your dad was able to come home and chill, or how did that work?
I'm sure it has changed over the years depending on the ages of kids, so it's hard to say this is the one thing that it did, or this was the way it was for 20 years or whatever. She was able to homeschool my brother and me up to a point in elementary school, and then when baby number 4 came along, she was like, no more.
Done.
She was like, I got too much to deal with. But she has been, I think it's been helpful for a lot of availability for a lot of school meetings or being able to pick kids up from school. It did give us the option, or made it easier to go to a small private school instead of public school, so that became an option too. And then we did all end up going to public school too. So, but also my dad has flexible work hours because he owns his own business, so there was some availability there too.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I remember, of course, when my mom was staying at home, I was real little. So I do remember being at home with her, and then my dad coming home. And she's always been the one to make dinner, but my dad, he's always been a helper, and my sister and I would always wash the dishes after dinner. So my mom didn't do that. That was always us. And we would try to leave each other the dirtiest pot or pan. So, like, one of us would run off and be like, I'm going to go wipe the table. And the other one, I'm going to go wipe off this counter. Here's a fork I can put away. And until one of us had to be like, okay, there's nothing else to do. I have to wash the awful pot. But when my mom was working full-time, I do remember that she still made dinner. But my dad would take turns, too. I know that she mostly made dinner, but he would also make dinner. Of course, when he made dinner, he made fish, and I hated fish. So I didn't care for that too much. I remember, too, wanting my mom to be home and, like, being upset when my mom did not come home at 5 o'clock. Because my dad, his work hours changed, and so he would sometimes be home, sometimes wouldn't be. But I remember calling my mom, when are you leaving? And I wanted her to come home, which now looking back on it, I plan to stay working as long as that's what's best, but I hope to always be working. And so now looking back, I feel kind of bad because it was necessary, right? And so I hope if and when I have kids, they don't get mad at me for working but I kind of did with my mom.
Well, and I think it's totally fair that you want to spend time with your mom as a kid, but it doesn't sound like you were emotionally scarred.
Oh, no, not at all.
No.
I was just being a little bratty. Come home and play with me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that having my mom, her be working most of my life, has definitely affected how I look at what women can do and shouldn't be expected to do. and also what I can do myself, seeing how she has risen and her in the ranks in her own jobs, wherever she goes, getting promoted. And that's always meant to me whenever my mom came home, hey, I got a promotion. It's like, hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a career woman. That's what I always wanted to be as a kid. I always said that I would marry my boss at age 27 so I could marry up. And you know where I got that from? I realized it not too long ago, just like a few months ago, because I rewatched Thoroughly Modern Millie with Julie Andrews.
I forgot she was in that.
And she said, and she was planning to marry her boss, and I realized that was where I got it from because I watched that as a kid.
That's pretty cute.
So that definitely has affected how I look at being a stay-at-home mom versus having a career, and I definitely want to have the career.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like both of our dads are much more capable than this husband on the Donna Reed Show. My dad's a dishwashing pro. He knows how to do this.
What up?
Unlike the episode where Donna leaves for a week and they just stuff all the dishes in the cabinets because they're not good about doing the dishes.
They don't wash them?
Well, he and Mary were home and he tried to make a scientific argument for why they should do the dishes less. Like, let's pile them up so we have to do the dishes less often. But then they didn't end up giving themselves enough time to do it before Donna got home. So they stuffed all the dishes in the cabinets. And then
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and then he was planning to wash them after she got back. But, of course, she found out.
That is ridiculous. That would be so disgusting.
Yeah.
You don't even know how to apply soap to an object?
I'm just saying, our dads are much smarter.
Yes.
Our dads are much smarter than the dad in the Donna Reed Show.
I'll never doubt my father again. Although I did see Alex make breakfast in one episode, and the son, Jeffrey, was like, "Where's Mom?" And he was like, "I got this. Here's your eggs." And it was all the eggs were in a little pan for the kids to dish, and all the toast was toasted. Which, that toast, it's cold. But I was very proud of him for doing that. So, speaking of little Jeffrey, who was about as incapable as his father, I would say.
Oh, definitely as incapable, if not more. Actually, more. He was not paying attention to burning toast right in front of his face.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's an episode that I watched called All Women Are Dangerous.
Ooh, that sounds promising. And completely accurate.
Speaking of going on dates instead of having a girlfriend or boyfriend, there is a dance happening, or a little concert/dance, and a little poster hanging in the high school. And so Jeffrey is talking with his broski, and he's like, "Who you gonna take?" And he was like, "I don't know." Meanwhile, in that same little diner, because of course they hang out in diners and drink milkshakes, there's a little trio of friends, and two of them are Sabrina and Joyce. And Sabrina says, "Jeffrey's going to take me to the dance." And Joyce is like, "Jeffrey's going to take me to the dance." And Sabrina's like, "Did he ask you?" And Joyce said, "No, but he's going to." So they are at war for this date with Jeffrey, this incapable boy with an almost unibrow. And they are both determined. So they're using their womanly wiles, their dangerous womanly wiles. And Sabrina comes over, and she helps him with his trigonometry, which actually she failed that class. It might not have been trigonometry. It was math. And she studied all night the night before so that she could help him with his homework. And she dotes on him, and she gives him a pillow and props him up. "Oh, are you feeling all right? Anything I can get you?" She goes into the kitchen, and then here's something I don't understand. We'll talk more about it later. But she gets a root beer out of the fridge for Jeffrey, a bottle, opens it up, pours it into a cup, hands the cup to the dad, takes the bottle out to Jeffrey that she has half emptied. So then,
Okay.
So she goes back out to him, and she lets herself out, and then Joyce comes over. And Joyce takes a bit of a different route, and she is asking him for help. And through her help, which I'm pretty sure she says basically this exact line, and then he just repeats it. She's like, I'm terrible at opening paragraphs, so I need your help for an opening paragraph. I came over here so you'd help me with an opening paragraph. And she kept on saying that over and over again.
Well, you see, tomorrow I have to turn in a theme, and I don't have an opening paragraph. I'm so bad at opening paragraphs, and you're so good at opening paragraphs, and that's why I came here tonight, for an opening paragraph.
Sounds so odd when you say it that many times. And so Sabrina makes him feel all taken care of, but Joyce makes him feel like he can do anything. And she, too, goes into the kitchen. Or no, he goes then into the kitchen, grabs a bottle of root beer for her, pours it into a cup, gives the cup to his dad, and takes the half-empty bottle out to her. And so his dad now has 2 cups of root beer. But why did they pour the bottle half out? Don't you drink from the cup? What is this madness?
I have no idea. You are very upset about this. I wish everyone could see your face.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't.
If you're going to pour something out of a disposable cup, disposable bottle or can, you pour it into the cup with like ice or something, and then you drink from that.
Unless you're European.
Is it gay or European? No.
No, I'm saying that because they don't put ice in their drinks in Europe.
They don't put ice in their pop?
They do not put ice in any drinks in Europe.
That's craziness.
Yeah, they think it's weird. When my parents went to Italy a couple summers ago, they were sweltering in the summer heat, but no water, no soda, no nothing had ice in it.
That doesn't make... Do they keep all their drinks very cold?
No, I think they're all room temperature.
Oh. So, yeah, I just do not understand what the purpose was of that. Or were they saying, like, that these kids were so love-struck that they weren't thinking? Was that it? I don't... It could have been... But I don't know.
Without seeing the episode, I cannot say for sure. But by your description of it, I agree it defies all comprehension.
Yes. That is why I'm so passionate about this. So, anywho, but this episode had a bit of a twist. I was a little proud of the Donna Reed Show.
Oh?
This is the first episode I watched. So he can't decide between Sabrina and Joyce. I mean, it is ridiculous, dude. Just pick one.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, everyone tells him, flip a coin, flip a coin. So then he sees their friend, who they were sitting with originally in the first scene in the diner. And he says, what should I do? She's like, flip a coin. Here, I'll flip it. And she takes out coin, flips it. But oops, it's actually a double-sided coin that says good luck on it. On both sides. So she was like, oh, my mistake. I thought it was a quarter. So he ends up taking her to the dance.
Okay. What? Because in an episode where I watched, Mary was real mad because 2 guys flipped a coin over taking her to a dance, and she stormed off the tennis court and refused to go with either of them, and then ended up getting to know a guy who was mowing their lawn and was real weird. But he was actually kind of weird because he was doing a science experiment, and Mary had just decided she wanted to study science.
Interesting. Well, she even told Jeffrey to flip a coin, so...
Weird. Running out of plot ideas.
Well, see, but here's the real kicker, is that he goes to the dance, has a good time, comes back home. And, by the way, the whole time, like, Jeffrey's off talking to friends. The rest of his family is just in the kitchen, like, the whole episode, doing who knows what, drinking the root beer out of the cups, I'm pretty sure.
Like I said, there's only an A plot.
Yes. So, nothing's happening in their lives this week, guys. And then Mary says to him, oh, so it looks like one of the girls won. And he said, oh, no, I went with their other friend, Ethel. I don't know. And she said, no, there were 3 girls after you. One of them won. And he was like, she wasn't after me. She just mistakenly picked this double-sided coin out of her purse. And she's like, did you see the coin? It's lighter than a quarter. She did not mistake that. She created her own plan, and it won. And he was like, so that girl was after him too, actually.
Wow.
She just went about it a little more stealthily.
And I don't, honestly, I mean, Jeff does provide some comic relief throughout the episodes, but I don't know how much of a catch he is.
No.
I mean,
no.
He's cute in a little, like, growing up kid way. You know, he's not a bad-looking kid. He's just, he's kind of annoying.
Yeah, he's just kind of bleh. But aren't they all kind of bleh?
They're all kind of vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not even French vanilla, just
vanilla. Nilla wafers. Actually, I love Nilla wafers. I'm sorry, Nilla wafers. You are bad.
I love Nilla wafers. They're so good. But speaking of vanilla, I was dancing to DDR tonight. And
did you do
a song?
Did you do Vanilla Ice?
No, I didn't. I was dancing to another song, and then suddenly the lyrics popped up on the screen, which they hadn't before. So then I tried to sing and dance, and I'd already danced to several other songs, and that was not going to happen. But the lyrics were, I hope I get to have chocolate cake, maybe vanilla, on the beach or something. It's
Cake
like
on the
song.
Cake by the ocean?
Maybe.
Cake by the ocean by DNCE?
Yes! I had no idea what that song was saying that. I've heard that song so many times. And I've always been like, never the lyrics, but they're talking about cake.
Well, metaphorically. But yes. We don't have to get into it. When I first heard it, I was like, this song is nonsensical, but I like it. And then once I realized it was a metaphor, I was like, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Oh, that makes sense. All right. Well, anyways, they're all just Nilla. Nothing else about it. No innuendos. Just
no. They're just
plain
vanilla
and simple.
Overall, I think in terms of the pleasantness of the show, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine put together show. And not everything about it. I mean, a lot of it was also just about conflict resolution and knowing how to be good to your family and trying to problem solve. And I think Donna is a smart character overall. So I don't think this show is by any means an evil villain, terrible influence on culture by any means at all. I just think there are certain things that are problematic about it. And I think their perspective on what women are capable of and what their roles are, they change a lot, and sometimes they're very narrow in scope.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that there's definitely, like you said before, just kind of an underlying expectation on what they can and cannot do and should and shouldn't do. And they just, fall into their roles. It's just kind of a natural part of the show. But, like, it wasn't so blatantly, like, it didn't upset me. I wouldn't say the show upset me. It made me cringe or kind of like, but it didn't upset me because there wasn't any, like, blatant just meanness or abuse. Like the married couple, like Donna and Alex, they're fine. Like, they were laughing and they liked each other. So it wasn't that I was upset. It was just like, And the show was boring, but
it was a repetitive show for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think even though they had to sleep in separate beds on the show, which I
didn't see any scenes with them in their bedroom.
Oh, it was separate
but
beds,
I wondered.
which I think is still think is hilarious. But they were affectionate and they liked each other. I thought it bothered me when he sort of would it sometimes seemed like he would just be placating her, like, okay, you don't want me to call you sweet? Okay, that word will never be said in our house ever again. And it seemed a little over the top, but it wasn't mean-spirited or cruel.
Right. So, but not great.
Yeah.
Rory?
Yeah?
As really amazing as this whole thing was, I mean, the music, the outfit, the dinner, I hope you know that I don't expect you to be Donna Reed. And I don't want you to be Donna Reed. That's not what I meant. This just totally got blown out of proportion. I'm actually pretty happy with you.
I know, and I appreciate that. But aside from this actually being fun, I did a little research on Donna Reed.
You did research on Donna Reed.
Look. See, she did do the whole, like, milk and cookies, wholesome, big skirt thing, but aside from that, she was an uncredited producer and director on her television show, which made her one of the first women television executives, which is actually pretty impressive.
Well, I'm glad this turned out to be such a positive experience for you.
It has been. And even though I'll probably never get the feeling back in my left little toe, I'd do it again.
Yeah?
Someday. But for now, I better get these dishes cleaned up.
Oh, well, I'll help.
Sorry. You're a man. You can't help for another 15 years.
So they decide Donna Reed knows best.
I guess?
Yeah, and you know, this episode has always seemed a little strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to talk about now, like, how does Rory get to this? Okay. Because I still don't understand how Rory goes from this is to I'm upset because all this other woman had to suffer through this. Donna Reed represents real women. And to this, where she's making a whole meal for him and she's upset because she didn't make the rules. Now, granted, she is not being Donna Reed. She is, you know, she made a silly dessert and, you know, the mashed potatoes were not from scratch. So it's not like she was going crazy over the top, being like, no, yes, Dean, I bow to your wishes. Mm-hmm. But, like, that was how you decided to resolve the argument, was to be Donna? And I feel like as Dean, I would be like, so it's okay now? Like, it would just be, it was just always been really strange to me that this is what happened.
I agree. I wonder if there's something off screen, like Rory does the research and she realizes, oh, there's a lot more to Donna Reed than I realized. I also wonder, though, if it's just like Dean is her first boyfriend and she wants their big fight to be over and she's kind of making a joke out of it. And he kind of says something like, yeah, this got way blown out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she's doing this to show him how silly it is, and maybe this isn't actually what he wants. Maybe there's more... Mm-hmm. Maybe she has more thought behind it than we realize. Like, kind of like, well, this is ridiculous. This isn't what you actually want, is it? I don't know. That's a great question. But
he likes it. He loved it. He praised her endlessly.
And, oh boy. And see, this is my problem with Dean and Rory. Well, several problems there are. But I feel like this whole episode is their whole fundamental conflict. Like, he likes being right and doesn't like being told that he's wrong. And I think also Dean really does value a family, which is not a bad thing at all. Like, I don't think it's bad that he wants a wife and kids, but this ultimately becomes, like, what he wants at the risk of everything else with Rory, and they don't want the same things.
No. And does it feel to you like she's kind of, I mean, granted, this is her first boyfriend, so it makes sense that she's trying this and that. But do you feel like she was kind of trying to change for him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think, well, and that, okay, so they break up 3 times in the course of the show. Mm-hmm. And every single time, it's because he's more serious about their relationship than she is. And I just think he always wanted to be moving faster and always be more serious than she wanted to. So we're going to get to that.
Him getting married at 18.
Yeah. We're going to get to that in a couple episodes, too, with their first breakup. And he reminds me a little bit of the husband in the Donna Reed Show. He likes to be right, and he kind of says things to just placate her. Like, okay, fine, whatever, you know. If you don't want to be called sweet, if you don't like the Donna Reed Show, da-da-da-da-da.
You can look at that other aisle of books that you missed. And
yeah, exactly. I know you want to, so go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it seems like Rory was just too good for him, and he knew it, and it bugged him, and he wanted to change her, but he was just doing what he could to keep her. Anyways, that's later. This episode, though, yeah, it just felt like she was kind of trying this out, even though all her life it's like Harvard, Harvard, Harvard. Journalist. Something Amanpour. Christina Amanpour.
Yeah, so I just think they are not a good match, and I think the more they spend time together... Okay, I was looking for this. So we tweeted this on our @SoIt'sAShow account on Twitter recently.
What?
This is a screenshot of what somebody put on Tumblr, their impression of Dean. In a big voice. Rory, pay attention to me. I don't understand what's wrong with patriarchy. I kind of like it. Love me right now or else, Rory. Now I'm yelling. Rory, you eat a lot. Ha ha. Rory, your mom's weird. Rory, I'm jealous of everyone always. Pay attention to me or I'll fight someone, Rory. I'll fight your mom, your grandfather, your friends, your mom's friends. I'll fight the president. I'll fight myself. Horrible high-pitched whining that continues nonstop for 3 days. Rory, I can't fit through this doorway. And I think that's a pretty good impression of Dean. Not as much at this point, but it's getting there.
See, okay, but now our team Deaners, I don't want them to feel totally dejected, because, okay, so what about, like, my husband is a team Dean. He says that he was the best boyfriend. And because he was so nice. So nice to Rory. He built her a car. So
over the top.
You know, he's
too much.
Yeah.
Well,
he's not all bad.
But I also don't like when he builds her this car, it comes with strings attached. He says, I love you, and she's not ready to say it back, and he breaks up with her. So it seems like when he gives her these gifts, it comes with expectations. And once again, kind of like the husband in Donna Reed Show. Like, if you're going to be my wife, you need to be around the house instead of running for political office.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So, do we agree with Lori? Oh my god!
Rory!
Why does this keep happening? Rory and Lorelai's take on the show. Okay, so here's what they say. Their first description of the show is that it's repetitive. Nothing happens. Do you agree that nothing happens?
I would agree.
Lightning round.
Yes.
Me too. Nothing changes. Okay. That she bakes a lot. Does she bake a lot?
Yes.
Not in the episodes I watched. Did she have a sugary disposition that would make you diabetic?
Yes, but don't call her sweet.
Yep. Sugar with a little bit of spice.
So it's a spice.
So
Nutmeg.
It's a spice. Did she do a lot of chores? Mother, daughter, window washing?
Yes.
Yep. She was always doing.
Was she never without a smile and high heels?
Absolutely.
Yes to high heels, usually a smile.
Did she and Alex only have sex once a month?
Undetermined. Indeterminable, but they had separate beds. They had separate beds, but 2 children, so debatable. If you hit a hammer with her hair, would it crack?
Depending on the season, her hairstyle did change, and one of them, heck yes.
Same. I would agree with that assessment. And would you call the Donna Reed Show incomparable?
Define incomparable for me.
That's all they say. It's up to you.
Yes.
No, because it reminded me of Full House and Leave It to Beaver and many other family sitcoms.
Ah.
She's medicated.
Possibly, to be honest.
I say no. She seems smarter than that.
Does she bake an endless string of casseroles?
I actually don't remember casseroles. I saw chocolate cake. I saw blueberry pie. I saw a lot of meal food, but I don't remember casseroles.
Yeah, it was black and white. I couldn't tell what the food was.
And would you say she was acting from a script written from a man?
Yes, although apparently we found out later that she was one of the producers, so...
And I would say it depends on the episode, because I did a little IMDb search, and there were actually a number of women. Granted, they were definitely outnumbered by men, but there were a number of women who worked on the show. Like Kay Leonard, Sheila Lynch, and Janet Carlson each wrote one episode. Peggy Shantler-Dick wrote 2 episodes. Helen Levitt wrote 10. And Barbara Avedon wrote 23.
Wow.
And Ida Lupino, who directed the episode A Difference of Opinion, which is when Alex and Donna have a disagreement that I watched, she also was nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys throughout her career. So, way to go, Ida Lupino.
Woohoo!
I believe that within 10 years we will have a woman president.
Oh, it's about time, isn't it? And as soon as we get into office, the first thing we'll do is take the vote away from the men.
I thought it was interesting that this is the episode where Christopher returns at the very end. And I thought maybe we talked about why did Rory do this at the end. And I wonder if there's an element of the fact she didn't grow up with both her parents in her life.
Oh.
And maybe, just maybe, she's trying to recreate some of that.
Interesting.
Because there's a definitely interesting contrast where they spend she and Dean are fighting because he's like, well, what's so bad about families being together and eating dinner together? And that's from his point of view. He's like, I don't understand what your problem is. But for Rory, she never had that growing up. And now her dad happens to just return. So we've watched them have this conflict about what a family life should look like. And then her dad returns.
Interesting. I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think you might have discovered a little something. Yeah, because we were saying she was trying something new with her boyfriend, but maybe it was that she was trying something new in her life, in her home life.
So maybe that's the real reason when her dad shows up. Maybe that's supposed to tell you something about, even if she didn't realize it subconsciously, that's why she did it. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll have to ask Amy when we talk to her next.
Yeah, Amy. We love you.
Hi.
That's our show?
That's our show. It is a show.
So it's a show.
It's a lifestyle.
It's our show. It's a religion. Sister
It
Suffragette.
Is our show. My sister Suffragette.
And hopefully our music isn't as weird as the music Rory looks to find for her night with Dean. When she goes to Lane's house and she's like, I need the weird music. Which, fun fact, thank you IMDb, that song is actually the daughter from Donna Reed singing.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's Shelley
I just think of everything in this show.
Fabers. She's the one
That
singing
is
at their dinner.
awesome. What? They don't just put in some rando music. They put in music from Donna Reed, actress. That is awesome.
Yes.
Go Amy Sherman Palladino.
Woohoo!
That's impressive to me.
Yes.
So, guys, we went meta. It was super fun. I'm glad that we finally did that. It was necessary.
Yes, it definitely was. But maybe you don't think so.
Donna Reed
Or
journey.
maybe you do think so. Either way, we want to know. Send us an email. soitsashow@gmail.com. Send us a tweet on the tweeter. @soitsashow. And what else? I'm forgetting something.
And leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, because we look at those. And when we don't see new reviews, we cry.
We do. Which actually, okay, they didn't have comments. So we don't have a lot of comments, but we do have 5 ratings and they're all 5 stars.
Oh, that's awesome.
So thanks, people.
Thank you, 5-star givers.
We appreciate it.
Super appreciate it. Aw. Well, looks like we have no room for improvement. We're perfect.
Oh, great. Just like Donna Reed's hair.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
We're perfect.
If you have a pop culture reference you want to know about, or if there's any feedback you have for us, we'd love to know.
Yeah.
And if for some random reason you would prefer to get in touch with us personally, you can reach me at tblake24 on Twitter.
And you can reach me at Kyla Katnedu. That's KYLACARNEIRO. So thank you guys for going meta with us. This has been fun. 15th episode. It's just another landmark achievement. Great job, Taylor.
Way to go, team.
Whoop whoop. And now, our next episode. We're not going to go meta because we can't, because we already did that. So, here's a clip.
We haven't really had a chance to talk.
About the schmutzing?
No, about all the warm and fuzzy family moments that went on tonight. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You know, all those crazy people saying horrible things were directing them at me, not you.
They were directing them to you because you had me.
No, they were directing them at me because I screwed up their big Citizen Kane plans, that's all.